This clip is brought to you by VegasWinners.com. Get expert sports betting advice from some of the best handicappers in the world. Head on over to VegasWinners.com and win yourself some money.
I think you could argue that might be one of the best 30-minute shows in the history of wrestling. Mm-hmm. It's so important historically.
Right.
That makes sense.
I think that scene with Dusty outside of Jim Crockett Promotions tying him up to the truck is probably the most memorable of all the Four Horsemen angles. Don't you think?
It's up there. And there was a lot of controversy at the time, people were starting to get quote unquote smart to the business.
Right.
And a lot of people felt like it was a goof. It was an edit when Dusty yelled, make it look good.
Make it good. Right.
But in reality, it was a reference to like an old Western.
Right.
And from what I understand, the movie was One-Eyed Jack. Marlon Brando was in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And his character, Rio, had been betrayed by his partner and fellow outlaw, Dad Longworth, who was played by Carl Malden.
Wow.
And following a bank robbery, the two had committed together. Years later, I should mention, Longworth became the sheriff, and when Rio returns to town to confront him, Rio is captured, tied to a hitching post, and whipped. But the worst blow of all is yet to come. Barely able to speak, Rio says, "You better kill me." His meaning was, after all you've done to me, you've betrayed me, you've whipped me, you might as well kill me, because if you don't, I'll be back to kill you. And that breakdown is brought to us by the MidAtlanticGateway.com, old friend of the show, Mr. Dick Bourne. He loves that moment and always took great issue when fans would say, because they knew he was sort of running things, he was the booker. They assumed it was make it look good. Like, no, make it good. Like you better not miss.
Right.
Or, as Omar would say, when you come for the king, you best not miss.
Well, here's all you need to know about that. And two things: Dusty loved Westerns, old Westerns. And number two, Dusty shouted, "Make it good."
Yes.
If he shouted, "Make it good." He didn't say, "Make it good."
Yeah.
He shouted it as if he wanted it to air that way. So for you goofs out there that think that it was something else, then check yourself in at the hotel and leave me the fuck alone.
It really a great moment. I think if I was going to, first of all, there are two things that, as great as it is,
mm-hmm.
I can be critical of.
Sure.
I wish in a perfect world, I guess there's three things. I wish in a perfect world, it was a thicker rope.
Right.
I wish that Dusty wasn't holding the ladder he should have been trying to fight to get away.
Yeah.
Let me hold it still for you.
Right.
And when JJ is trying to choke him with the bat, but of course he's not really trying to choke him.
Right.
Friend. But he's trying to choke him, and Dusty just goes, now don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I watch enough of this shit that I'm just overly critical, and I get that.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't, and I don't really know Dusty. I met Dusty like 5 times in my life, but the point is, I can have fun with that. And I understand at the time, everyone took it very, very seriously, but I just think about him being like, okay, I need it to look good and I can pull this little bullshit string off. So I won't do that and ruin it. I'll just hold it. And then, oh, JJ's not giving me much with this. I got to really sell it. The angle itself, phenomenal. So good, by the way, that 10 years later, it will be ripped off in WCW with the Steiners and the NWO. And it got such a reaction, they were only able to show it on TV once. So what's that old saying? There are no new ideas in wrestling. But man, that was a good one. That was really great stuff. And it was really fun just to see the old Crockett office and all the cars there. And you could tell that Mr. Crockett didn't really care about parking lot maintenance. It was
no,
it was fun to see, man.
Yeah. That building, as we know, is gone. The building in front of it's gone. Lionel Toy Warehouse is gone. South Boulevard looks a lot different. 1986, man. I have a lot of memories, and a lot of the memories that I have do not really connect. I didn't realize in my memory bank that our announcement of Magnum being hurt and that angle with Dusty were on the same show. That didn't click with me until all of a sudden, oh boy, this is all in the same show, man. And obviously Ric Flair, and we showed the Nikita footage from Charlotte, and Flair obviously set up the match for he and Nikita for the world title at Starrcade. So good stuff, buddy.
So much happened in this show. It's hard to even, I don't know. It's hard to really contextualize what a big show we just watched and how much changed just like that.
Yeah. It's life, man.
It is.
Changes just like that in January of 2017 for me, just like that. And then signing with AEW just like that. I talk about that all the time, how you just can't in life. You can't say, well, that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
Because it's not. It's not the way it's going to be.
Well, it will be if you decide it is, but if you keep after it.
Right.
It doesn't have to be.
No, it doesn't have to be.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.